Alright, so welcome back to the life support series. Pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about all the things I didn't talk about in this generators and storage section. So, liquid nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, steam, which I briefly talked about, and normal nitrogen. So, let's say we want to get ourselves some hydrogen. Because, if you look at this hydrogen fuel cell thing down here, you'll see it takes hydrogen and oxygen and it produces water, which is, cool. The advantage to really having this is that you don't have to have a water pump on the ground. You can just fly your ship in, turn your generators on, and then use this thing to generate yourself water instead of actually having to go down and send down a pump station or something. So this is a little bit more convenient sometimes. Unless you were just like a station in like around the planet, and then you could probably just have a pump there and connect it anyway. Right, so I'm gonna actually build up a fusion generator right now. A fusion generator like complex thing. So we have in the middle is a fusion generator. I'm gonna set this thing up so that it works. So now, well, what do we need? We need water and we need heavy water. So if you look at these generators, well, what ways are there to get water? I'm gonna actually use the hydrogen fuel cell because that way I can demonstrate even more things. So we're going to get a hydrogen compressor, like that. And what else do we need for this? Well, we need an oxygen compressor because it takes both of those to produce water. And then we need a heavy water generator, or a heavy water electrolyzer, sorry. Which looks kind of ugly, but whatever. And then that's all we actually need. However, we're going to also put a steam generator down, or steam turbine rather, because that way we can recycle some of our resources. So now, when I link all this stuff up, now we have some resources. However, we need more than this. We need storage tanks. We need a hydrogen tank. Let's put a hydrogen storage there. We need an oxygen tank, of course, there. And we need a steam tank, also, of course. This one is characteristically white. I mean that, like, steam is white, not, Anyway, we need a heavy water tank, which is here. I'm just going to put a small one down because it doesn't take much. And I'm going to put a water tank down because I'm going to use the medium tank because it's a nice size and it's not too big. So now we have all these other things. Now, if I have not missed something, we can begin. I'm going to start by turning on these gas compressors. And then, oh wait, sorry, I can't do that. You have to turn this thing on first. So I know I said it was really dangerous to do this, and it is. But it doesn't go off immediately, and you can cool it down before it goes off. You see there's smoke coming out. That looks like it might be bad. It is bad. Oh, crap. I forgot this plant doesn't have hydrogen on it. Right. Okay, well, we're not going to produce water in this way. However, if we did, essentially all you do is you get hydrogen and oxygen compressor, put it here, and then you would turn this thing on and generate water. Unfortunately, we're not going to do that. So that's just going to result in the movement of a couple of these components. I believe one of these is the hydrogen. Yes, this one. Okay. So instead we're just going to use a water pump. I forgot this plant doesn't have hydrogen on it. Most do, so you don't really have to worry about that. That is a downside, although most plants don't have water either, so, I think more plants have hydrogen than plants that have water. Anyway, so you turn on this water pump, and then it goes to here. Say we want to turn this thing on so we have energy. And now you'll see it's producing a bunch of steam, and it is producing water. Not producing a whole heck of a lot. But now, we want to turn on the steam turbine, because one, we want to produce a little bit more water, of course, and a little bit more energy. We don't actually need more energy, but let's say we bought ourselves a bunch of batteries just to make it seem like we need energy. One other line. Okay, so now that we have all these batteries, because we need to fill them so we can have shields. Yes, shields. We need shields. Okay. So this thing is producing crap loads of power right now. I don't even know how much it's making. It's making a ton of power. I believe the power actually becomes more efficient once you have water, and it should become even more efficient once we have heavy water, which we now have a little bit of. And now you'll see it's producing shitloads of energy. I think it's, what is that even? Oh god, it's like 200,000 or so per second. It's a ton of power. It's a lot more once you have the water and the heavy water. So anyway, at any rate, we're producing heavy water about as quickly as we're consuming it. I'm gonna go into overdrive here for a second. You'll see you don't produce a whole lot of heavy water, so this one is more than sufficient to keep all the heavy water that we have produced. It's also consuming a lot of water though, so it's kind of a balance you have to work out between all these things. And then once you do, we've now generated 8 million power in a very short amount of time. So, since we're talking about shields, let's spawn a shield. Make it big, really strong. Why not? Oh, whoops! I don't want to contain the shield. That would be silly, especially for our purposes. Not always silly, I suppose. So I turn this thing on. You will notice it is maintaining it, which is pretty impressive. It takes a lot of energy. It is losing power. That's to give you an idea of how much energy this takes. It's losing power. It produces like 200,000 per second. So yeah, if you have one of these things, you can keep a shield going. A Strength 5 gigantic shield going. However, let's say we get our wire debug tool. And then, so this is, I guess it's more of an applications video than anything else. But this is like combining more things together. So essentially, if I... Whoops. I want to turn this shield off and turn it back on while I'm not inside of it. Okay, so if I just shoot at the shield... Whoops, not the fusion reactor. Oh, also, the fusion reactor does in fact tell you how much it's outputting, and it's outputting 222,922. That is a lot of energy. So if I pound on this shield, you'll see that the energy over there is dropping about 40,000 per second, just with the staff weapon, which is, pretty quick. For, being shot with such a weak weapon. I know it's a gigantic shield. You probably want to have this one quite this large on your ship, which I believe we will be building in the next series of tutorials. So, when I'm pounding on this shield with my staff weapon, you'll see it is losing a fair deal of energy, which is, now, right, okay, so anyway, it's still going to stay up for a while. Perhaps if I had a faster firing weapon, I could really get through this, or Ronin's gun actually. As I'm pretty sure the P90 doesn't do near as much damage to the shields, although it is blocked, which is nice. Nah, it doesn't consume. It doesn't really do that much more than any of the other things. So we're just gonna keep pounding on it with this here, Ronin's gun. So at any rate, right. So that's pretty much how the fusion generators and the heavy water and the steam and hydrogen fuel cell and all those things work. I'm just going to go quickly demo one more thing here, and that is also if you don't have the shield, don't worry about it. I was just showing an example. It's not like you have to have the shield. However, you should get Stargate because it's awesome. Anyway, the final thing I'm going to talk about are these ramscoops. So if you have a hydrogen ramscoop, there are two different versions. There are this one, which is kind of weird looking, and this one, which I prefer. Right, so when you turn this thing on, actually you don't turn it on, you move it. Once you move it through the air, it will generate hydrogen as it moves, which is pretty cool. You just sort of like wave around this. It's not generating anything because one, it's not connected to a network, and two, there is no hydrogen in the atmosphere of this planet. So clearly we cannot generate hydrogen when there is none to be generated. Right, now that we have a crap load of energy in our tanks, I'm going to remove all of them. So anyway, that's it for this tutorial. That's pretty much everything you will ever use in life support ever. I don't see why you need anything else. If you do have any suggestions, just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.